No one cared who I was until I put on the mask.
See, I 3D print my masks and it's cool, but then you end up with these lines on your face. I appreciate you checking this out. This is part 2 of the rack build that I started probably close to 2 months ago. Ended up taking forever to find the Powerstage 700, but I finally got that. Coronavirus happened. Kind of fell apart. So this video will be wrapping up the build of that rack. As a matter of fact, I've pretty much already built it in my off time, but I will go through all of the different little nuances of how the build came together and the reasoning behind the particular types of routing. So let's not waste a whole bunch of time and just get right into it. There's no one-size-fits-all scenario for everyone. Some people might just be fine with a combo amp and a guitar, or even just an acoustic guitar, and there's nothing wrong with that. For my particular situation, I need a lot of equipment in a very compact space for a lot of different reasons. So to do that, what I've done is I've put together a rig that allows me to run live through a cab, which, whether that be at practice or at a small gig or something like that, I can run direct to front of house. I can run here in my studio without any changes to the equipment. I can run dual amps out. I can run a single amp out, all without making any modifications physically. So let me run through real quick what I've done here. I've color coded everything, and you can see without knowing anything prior about this system at all, you can actually come in here and plug and unplug anything you want and know that yellow goes to yellow, orange goes to orange. There should be no confusion. Another thing I wanted to point out was that the cabling that I have is super short. The more cabling that you have, the harder it is to see where everything is routed, the more problems that you're gonna have. That's simple. There's more material to break, there's more material to degrade your signal. It's just better to keep short cables when possible. So let's take a look at the components that make that fully rounded solution here work for me. So first off, the guitar has to send a signal to something here, right? So in my case, the very first point of contact is this right here, the red. And this is either directly my guitar coming into here or my wireless unit. So from there, this sends 2 signals out, left and right, to my Helix rack, and this has 4 different send and returns. I'm just using 2 of the 4 here. The reason why I'm doing this is because the TC Electronic Mimic allows me to send a copy of my signal that is slightly modified in some kind of wizardry magic kind of way that modifies it enough to make it sound like it's 2 different guitars playing. And it's truly nothing like I've seen on the market, period. Even the Helix has somewhat of a setting for this, and it does not sound nearly as good as this pedal. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother with an extra piece of equipment that I have to deal with. So this goes in here, and all the processing happens inside the Helix. From there, that can go out to this right here, this 1/4 inch out, all the way over to the inputs of the Seymour Duncan Powerstage. And you'll notice the color coding is the same. I did that so anyone can come in here and fix or plug in anything they need to. But that will give me power to a cabinet if I need it. Here's the thing though, there's a good chance that I'm not going to need that in most scenarios where I'm running direct. So if that's the case, I'll probably running the XLR outs and not even turning on the power amp. But if I do need to use the power amp, then I will run my dual left and rights from the power amp up there, those blue speak-on connections right there, all the way down to my cab or multiple cabs or whatever we're doing. So these 2 brackets here, they are 3D printed to fit this in-ear monitor system. The idea is to put this in our closed loop in-ear monitor rack. Right now, I'm not sure how that's all going to come together. We're still kind of building it out, and I wanted to have the option to stick this in here for now and keep it safe without having it, you know, if I stick it in here, put it in somewhere to have it rattling around. So it can bolt in here and sort of mount vertically. I've got the power conditioner in the back because you'll see here that there is no space in the front, which is a total bummer. I thought about bending up that support there, but it's a support. So probably not the smartest thing, especially if this thing gets bounced around. You know, I do want to touch a little more on the Mimic because that's such an important part to my rig. Being a single guitarist in a band, I'm at a disadvantage because I don't have that thickness that a 2-guitar attack has at a live show. This solves that problem completely because it runs a single dry signal into my amp, but it can also run that alternate signal that's sort of like slightly modified into either another amp or 2 signals into my Helix Rack. That gives me that 2-guitar attack that I can actually send 2 different signals out to the front of house and it'll just sound to them like there's 2 guitarists. Anyway, point being, get a Mimic. It's great. Okay, I think I'm gonna cut it right here. I was hoping to get everything into one video, but it really seems like these are living in 2 different worlds. We got the hardware side that we've been talking about, and then we've got the software side where we're gonna be setting up presets and doing the signal routing in the software, and that would make more sense to kind of live on its own. So for right now, if you don't mind, I'd love it if you could pop over to beneathvultures.com to check out my band. We are also at Instagram at Beneath Vultures. We're on Facebook at Beneath Vultures. We do have some content here on YouTube, and we are expanding so to a full-fledged band. We're going to be hopefully doing some touring if COVID-19 ever lets us do it. If you like the stuff on this channel, the type of music that I focus on, I think you probably actually dig it. So until then, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you soon.